Good morning. How are you this morning? I'm so happy that you came this morning. This is going to be kind of depending where you are in your health journey, if you're a coach, if you are somebody who's interested in learning the power of weight loss once and for all, this session is for you. And so I'm so happy to be here this morning. My name is Monica Boyer. I'm a ketogenic certified life coach, and I'm gonna tell you just a little bit about myself before we get started. But this morning I want to talk about the power of weight loss. How many of you have this on your mind all the time? Like, gosh, this is just frustrating. I can't grasp the art of weight loss because I've tried every diet in the book and just nothing works. So that's what I want to talk to you about, because I'm a living testimony of the power of weight loss and how it works. But first of all, I want to tell you who I am. Again, my name is Monica Boyer. I am a ketogenic certified coach, and I am the wife of Brian in the back. We have 4 children. We are transitioning into the adult child world, and we're kind of thinking we like it. So we have 4 children. 2 are married, and we have 1 at home. It was so funny this morning. She just got her license on Friday. And so she was taking her voyage trip to church this morning. And I'm like, I want proof of life. I want you to do a selfie with pastor. I want to know if you made it. Well, she called Brian about 10 minutes ago. She said, Dad, I'm lost. She didn't know where she was because we go way in the country. So we turned on now they call it helicopter parenting. I call it Life 360. We turned that on. We knew exactly where she was, and he took her right to church from where we are. So we have a family zoo. We just lost our Great Dane. So we have a Great Dane. I think there's a dragon in the house somewhere. So I'm a caretaker of our family zoo. And I was a former lobbyist. So I am kind of going from the world of politics to the world of weight loss, which is hilarious if you're in God's perspective of my life. It's hilarious. But I came from a world of lobbying. I was a pro-family lobbyist, so I worked for places like Right to Life. I fought for religious liberty, fought for medical freedom, those kind of things. I could take a politician out by his knees. In fact, we did. Our senator in Indiana was the longest serving senator, and he got a little bit too liberal for me, and so we took him out. It was really fun. But through that, I became very, very unhealthy. And so I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. This is a double-click one. Before we start, I want to talk about why is your health worth fighting for? I think if we want to talk about health in the health and wellness world, I think we need to talk about why it's worth fighting for. Because so many times we've tried everything, and it's just like, you know what? I'm not doing another thing. I just can't do another thing. And so I want to talk about why our health is worth fighting for. I made some beautiful slides here, but I want you to close your eyes for a minute, okay? And I want to talk about something. So let's do an exercise. I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to create a movie picture in your mind. All right? I want you to just kind of go back, and I want you to think about who is in your movie. Are there little ones in your movie? There may be some aging parents in there, a spouse. Just kind of go through your day. What's happening in your movie? Are there coworkers in your movie? Now I want you to imagine them. What are they doing? Are they playing? Are they sleeping? Are they calling you to say they're lost on the way to church? Are they asking you if they can go on a date? Are they maybe your parents needing a ride to the doctor? Are they needing you to mow their grass? Now, I want you to imagine if you were not in this picture. What would happen? Who would take care of these people? Who will do the things that they need? Now let's flip this movie a little bit. Let's take a look at another picture. You want to go out and play with your kids, but you just don't have the strength to do it. Your size has grown to the point where you can't move like you used to. You can't afford the medications because your insurance ran out. Your joints hurt. Your medications are hurting you. You're depressed. Now open your eyes. That was me in 2017. June 17th, 2017 was the day I changed my life. The woman on the left was 250 pounds. I was hopeless. I was 250 pounds. I had stroke-level blood pressure, and I was severely ridden with anxiety and depression. That middle picture there is a tire around my middle. It was full of insulin resistance. That was me. I was a hard-nosed lobbyist. I could take any politician down, but this is what I was doing to my body. And it wasn't until I had my enough moment with my son, who is 24 years old, and he asked me to go to Cedar Point. Cedar Point's the amusement park in Ohio. He asked me to go to Cedar Point with his dad, and I said, oh gosh, we can't afford it. Well, technically, I wasn't really lying to him, because if you've seen the price of tickets there, you know how expensive they are, right? But the fact of the matter is, I didn't want to go through all of those curly Q lines, get up there and find a high school student say, I'm sorry, ma'am, you're too big for the rides. You can't fit on the rides. And my world froze at that moment, because I was like, I can't even be a mom to the kid who wants to hang out with me. He's 24 years old. He had just gotten engaged. He wanted to hang out. I couldn't even be the mom I needed to be, because this woman was so unhealthy. So I want to talk about the blockways of what causes us not to go on a health journey. What blocks the pathways to weight loss in our life? And I want you to think about something. You may not have a weight issue. You may be fully healthy. And let me tell you, the size has nothing to do with whether you're healthy or not. There are a lot of skinny people out there who are very unhealthy. I always like to do that disclaimer up front. So weight is not a sign of whether you're healthy or not healthy. But there's some reasons why people don't want to get healthy. And the first one is that they're not done with their old life. I wasn't done with my old life, because I was enjoying who I was. I had an identity as a lobbyist. I had an identity as a tough woman, and I don't want to give it up. I had gotten used to the pain. I gotten used to being 250 pounds. I was used to being angry all the time. I didn't have my enough moment until I sat with my son, and I realized I couldn't be a mom to him when he needed me. My why was not big enough. So many diet circles that I had been on, my why was just not big enough. I didn't know how to change, because if you saw my checkbook, don't tell my husband this, but my gosh, Jenny Craig, she got so much of my money. Weight Watchers, all of those programs got all of my money, right? I didn't know how to change, because frankly, they didn't work, right? They needed my money. They create these diet circles because they want a circle of diets, because that's how they make money, right? I didn't know how to change. And everything in the past had failed. Y'all, I had tried laxatives. I will be point blank honest with you. I had tried everything in the book to get healthy. Everything. And everything had failed in the past. And so I didn't want to try again. I lost my motivation to change. Chronic stress is a roadblock to health. Imagine your life in a day. I imagine as you played that movie a few minutes ago in your mind, it was a little stressful, right? That anxiety just rose a little bit. So imagine your life in just a day's snapshot. What do you do every day? Who do you take care of? How many fires do you put out? How many fires? At least 10 a day? Yeah, right. We are addicted to stress, ladies and gentlemen. We are so addicted to stress, and frankly, we don't know how to live if our blood pressure is not sky high, because we are addicted to stress. So chronic stress is a roadblocker to weight loss. It's how we got here. Everything is hurried. Everything is scheduled. There's no white space in our world. I watched this, or I listened to this podcast about white space, and it is powerful. We need to put some white space in our life. Cortisol's impact on our body is huge. Cortisol is also known as stress, spikes our glucose. Our glucose spikes our insulin. And my clients know, I tell them every day, in the presence of insulin, you do not lose weight. Okay? So stress and cortisol is one of the top ways we do not lose weight. Insulin continually spiked causes insulin resistance, as you saw in my before picture with that tire in the middle. And skin tags, that is a sign of insulin resistance. All right, I don't think we can play that movie. Adrenal fatigue is the third reason why we have a blockway to weight loss. If you have been stressed or busy for many months or years, your cortisol will be low and even completely flatlined. This condition is called adrenal fatigue. It's very common in type. Are there any type A personalities in here? Yes, that would be me. It's very, very common, adrenal fatigue in type A personalities. They push themselves to the limit and try to fight through their symptoms. And some of the symptoms some of the causes are late nights at work, not sleeping, fighting infection, lack of exercise, too much exercise. Believe it or not, I tell some of my clients, you're exercising too much, you need to stop, because they're causing adrenal fatigue. Comparisons and insecurities, fears or worries, overexposure to artificial lights and toxins, and poor blood sugar control. Adrenal fatigue, if you're struggling with weight loss, you need to get those things checked out. There's simple tests that you can do to get that done. Inflammation is almost the number one. It's almost up there with cortisol and stress. Inflammation causes chaos in our body in every single way. Thyroid causing an impact, activating the T3 cells in the body, which impact your metabolism. The less conversion, the slower your metabolism will be. Fatigue and depression takes over, leading for cravings to sugars and foods that are bad for the body. Inflammation is number one in the stalling of my clients, because we've got to get the inflammation. And so I've got good news about that coming up. Inflammation does not work alone. It needs a catalyst like stress or leaky gut to help it out. When the particles of undigested food, organ bacteria begin to leak through the gut wall. If you want this is a side conversation here with the whole leaky gut. If you want a very fascinating topic, study the leaky gut. It is absolutely fascinating. All right, so your immune system's job is to first produce inflammation. So inflammation in and of itself is not necessarily bad. When you get a cut on your hand and it turns red, that's a good thing, because your body is fighting that inflammation, right? It's when you get too much in your body that causes the stalling of weight loss. Did you know that 80% of your immune system is in the gut? When we fix our gut, you watch the weight just drop off. It is absolutely fascinating. I could do a whole seminar on gut health alone. It's just absolutely great. There's also carryover illnesses stemming from inflammation. So if you have thyroid disease, if you have diabetes, pain, leaky gut, autoimmune issues, medication, these all work together to build up and work with the inflammation to cause weight gain. Okay, so we know this. We've had enough. We've had enough of it. We found our enough moment. We have, we're ready, right? So how to break free. I'm going to talk about what I did in my life to lose 120 pounds. Okay, what has worked? I've kept it off for 4 years now. I have been in the best physical health that I have been in the last 4 years. So I'm going to tell you how I did it, okay? I'm going to tell you why I coach, because it changed my life. The first thing you have to do to lose weight, and if you're thinking about somebody in your life that needs this, bring this home to them. The first thing you have to do is you have to decide you have had enough. No one else can make that decision for you. I have a lot of husbands call me as a coach and say, listen, coach, could you help my wife? And it's not that they don't like the way she looks. It's like they're losing her because she's depressed, she's anxious, and they're panicked for her. And I unfortunately have to say I would be happy to, but she has to have that moment. You have to have that moment. I remember sitting at the table with my son, the breadcrumbs. We had toast crumbs on the table. It's kind of funny now that I do what I do with keto, but we had toast crumbs on the table, and I remember feeling them. That was my enough moment. It took me a year to lose 120 pounds, and that year would not have happened had I forgotten my enough moment, had I not looked at my son and said, oh, I can do much better for you. You have to have the enough moment. Your why has to be powerful. First thing I do with my clients when they enroll is they have to write their why out. I want to know why. I want to know the feelings. I want those women and those men to go have an ugly cry in their bedroom because of their why. I want them to write it down. I want them to feel it. And frankly, I ask God every time I'm a person of faith, and every time I bring on a new client, I ask God, please show me my why again, because I want to feel what they're feeling. I want to feel it again, because when you feel it, it's powerful and you will hit your goals. Make it public. I told you I was a lobbyist, so my Facebook is a petri dish of reporters, of politicians, of my mother, of my pastor. It's all there. And I made my weight loss journey very public because I needed accountability. I needed to close all exit ramps. And so I always encourage my clients, when you're comfortable, it's time to make it public. And put yourself out there. It's very, very scary to do, but it's very powerful to do. Macros matter. When you're a client of mine, I sign you up. Macros are your combination of your fat, your protein, your carbs, and your calories. Macros matter. We have to have the macros set to weight loss, and we have to track them, okay? So macros matter. You have to replace your old mindset with a new one of, I can do this, I'm gonna do this, and hell or high water, this thing is gonna happen. Your mindset is number one. I just got my life certification just a few weeks ago because after 3 years of coaching, of a very, very healthy coaching practice, I realized 10% of what I teach is science. Keto is a science. 90% of what I teach is life. It's walking with ugly stuff with my clients every day. And so you have to replace the old mindset with a new one. Accountability with a coach or strong group of friends. I never understood. When God put me in this new career of mine, I never understood why. I'm like, you can go find keto for free on the internet. Why in the world? Until I decided I was going to go get toned. Like, I had lost 120 pounds. I was a little flabby, like, I got to go get toned. So I joined the Y, right? Like we all do. Guess where my Y membership sits? Until I hired a personal trainer. You bet you, for $80 a month, I was there. I think it was like $80 a session. I'm sure it was cheaper than that. But you know what? I did not miss one single workout with my trainer because I was paying for them. Like, that's why. That's why the accountability is strong. You have to do it. You have to move. You have to decide. You have to make your first move. 21 days builds a habit, 90 days builds a lifestyle. If I can get you to change something for 21 days, I've got you, right? I've got you in the groove. And then what next comes up here, Keto 101. So I'm just going to give you an overview. There's a ton more that I could teach on this. I just want to tell you how I lost 120 pounds, how it worked for me. So I'm just going to give you the overview, the 30,000 foot above the surface look at keto, and I'd be happy to break it down for you if we have time. So where do I start? What is keto? Living the ketogenic life means we are converting your energy stores, how you burn fat, from burning sugar and carbs to burning your own body fat for fuel. This is the only lifestyle that you can literally go to bed and you're burning your own body fat. It's amazing. Literally this means you can be sound asleep and burning your own body fat. So here, keto, 0 to keto in 6 simple steps. The first thing I do with my clients is we eliminate all sugar. And I'm talking about all sugar. It's a 2-week detox from hell. Now, I always tell my clients, this is not keto. You can have berries on keto, right? But I want to get you unaddicted to sugar. We've got to remove those cravings. We've got to, they say that the addiction to sugar is more powerful than heroin. It's powerful. So we are eliminating all sugar. Nothing sweet to the mouth for 2 weeks on my program. Nothing. No coffee creamer, nothing sweet, because we are removing those addictions. Change your mindset about sugar. Sugar feeds cancer. I'm sure that there's been a session probably somewhere in this conference about how sugar feeds cancer. I got certified. Let's see where we are in time. I got certified, and when you get certified and you get your degree in something, you're like so excited to go tell everybody. So I'm sitting with a prospective client at a table one day, and I'm like, yeah, sugar feeds cancer, and I'm just throwing up book knowledge to it, right? She's like, you don't believe that, do you? And I said, yes, I do. She said, let me tell you what my husband does. My husband's a nuclear radiologist for our local hospital. His job is to detect cancer. Do you know how they do it? And I said, well, no, I don't. And she said they feed them high fructose corn syrup, put them in a PET scan machine, and when they do, cancer cells light up like glowworms, like they're literally moving. And she said cancer cells have 10 extra receptacles, and it's like a sponge, just sucks the cancer in. It feeds the cancer. In that moment, now I'm a black and white person. I have some strong personalities. I have very, very few gray areas in my life. As I'm getting older, I'm getting more gray areas, but literally. But when she told me that, something snapped in my brain, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't ever want to feed cancer cells in my body ever again. I will never put sugar in my mouth again. That was it for me. The light was off. I was done. So we're ignoring what happened last year, but the year before when we were here together, I had a booth over there. A cancer doctor came up to my booth and I said, listen, I'm just a coach. I'm kind of dumb. I said, but could you confirm something? I've heard that healthy human beings have cancer cells in their body. Is that true? And he just happened to have his studies. He pulled it out. He said, yes, you have cancer cells in your body right now. Right then, I'm like, that's confirmation. I will never feed those cancer cells ever again. So eliminate sugar immediately. Now, in my coaching program, I teach you how to replace it. There is nothing that my clients lack in their lifestyle. Nothing. We convert chocolate chip cookies to keto. We convert it. But we are going to eliminate all sugars. And we will go through an intense detox period. We're going to push through it. And I recommend the hard detox with no sweeteners at all. Step number 2, eliminate all simple carbs. Simple carbs have the same impact on your body as sugar, okay? So a lot of my clients come to me really excited because when we get to the second step, or the first step, they're like, oh gosh, I don't like cookies, or I don't snack on a lot of sugar stuff. Bingo, right here. Same impact to your body. Simple carbs, all grains, breads, rice, flour, wheat, yes, even whole wheat, and corn. They are no different on your body than sugar. It turns to glucose. Eliminate all processed foods. Okay? It's the second step. Third step, drink water. Now, I had a guy correct me and I didn't take it out of here because I like this. I like this picture right here, but supposedly you can run a car without oil. I'm like, I like this scenario. So just convert it in your mind however you want. But I think that you can't run a car without oil. You can't run your body without water. Literally, you've got to drink your water. It is that simple. Drink half your body weight in ounces per day. Now, if you're not there, don't go home and start that tomorrow, or you will not do anything, but you'll be in the bathroom all day, right? So work it up, build it up, and you want about half your body weight in ounces of water every day. This does incredible things with digestion, does amazing things with your skin, with your hair. Honestly, I gave up carbs and sugar. This was the tough one for me. I just had a tough time with this water. I just didn't like it. Especially when you're on the ketogenic lifestyle, you want to get your electrolytes because the first couple of weeks when you're losing, you can drop 15, 20 pounds in the first couple of weeks. That's water. Your body is draining yourself of electrolytes. So what I do to get my electrolytes in every morning, even 4 years in, every morning I take a shot glass of warm water. I take a 1/4 teaspoon of pink salt. I pretend, because you can make your mind pretend it's anything, it's chicken broth to me, and I just down it. That's my electrolytes. This prevents the keto flu. Keto flu is carb withdrawal, okay? Because you are going through massive changes all at once. And so sometimes you'll feel like you have a headache. You'll feel like you're just a little bit off, maybe some dizziness. That's because you're short electrolytes, okay? Get your electrolytes to prevent the keto flu. Pink salt shots. I love Redmond salt on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon. It's pure stuff. Step 4, count and set your macros to weight loss. This is absolutely vital. I have my own app, so I take my clients through my own app. I can see what they're eating on the other side, so they're putting in what they're eating throughout the day. It shows them exactly where they are, so they tell me how much they weigh, they tell me their weight, their measurements, all of that. I figure out their macros based on all of that, set it to weight loss, and it is a calorie deficit, okay? And then they start tracking their food. You will be absolutely shocked. I decided one day I was going to see what I ate in my old life. Every client of mine gets 20 carbs a day, 20 carbs, okay? So I decided I was going to go to my old life when I weighed 250 pounds, and I was going to see what I ate. 480 on an average night. And that was the night that we didn't go out for pizza. And it was the night that I might have cooked, so it's absolutely crazy. But the cool thing about that, you panic at 20 carbs, but what we do is we up your healthy fats. If you are hungry on the ketogenic lifestyle, you're doing it wrong. You're not getting your healthy fats in, okay? Hidden carbs are also an enemy to keto. So that's why I like my clients tracking. Here's an example. So garlic powder, 8 carbs. Remember, you get 20, 8 carbs. Now, it's for a tablespoon, right? We don't need a tablespoon, but look at all what you're adding throughout the day. 8 carbs. You get 20 carbs a day. Carb creep is real. You would be absolutely fascinated to see exactly how many carbs we eat. Carbs turn to sugar, right? All right, so hidden carbs are the enemy to keto. I use Practice Better with my clients, and I can actually, it's so convenient because I can see what they're eating. I can just type right back to them. They know my feedback right away. It's awesome. All right. Watch for carb creep. We just kind of talked about this. Hidden ingredients are everywhere. In fact, the FDA, I just learned this the other day. It made me so stinking mad. The FDA does not have to be honest, like politicians or something. They don't have to be honest in their figuring out of what the nutrition labels say on the back. In fact, I did one for Doritos the other day to see, well, how close? Certainly that can't be right. I figured out the Doritos according to macros. They're lying to you. It's like, plus, 15 chips is a serving. How many of us actually eat 15 chips, right? It was like off by like 30 calories. Well, imagine that at the end of the day. But the FDA does not they don't have to run the fiber. They don't have to run all of the stuff. So, oh, that makes me mad. You know why I lobby now. I thought I was getting out of lobbying after I lost this weight, and then I got into the food world. I'm like, wait a minute. So I went to Washington, D.C. before the Rona hit. I said, you know what, Congressman Banks, I'm really mad. I said, maltodextrin, sugar-free. The politicians say maltodextrin is sugar-free. It's not. It has a higher glycemic index than table sugar. And so people are putting this in a sugar-free gum. They're eating pure sugar. I said, listen, I'm a libertarian. I don't want anything banned in this because maltodextrin is banned in 11 countries. I don't want anything banned, but at least let's have some honesty when it comes to food labels. I don't know if it was a productive trip or not, but we had a good time. Get your nutrients. Let's do this thing like the healthy boss we are. Your body needs the right nutrients to be healthy. You have to get healthy to lose weight. A lot of people flip-flop that. They think if they lose the weight, they'll get healthy. You have got to get healthy to lose weight. The first thing I did when I started my journey, number one, I dropped all sugar, but number two, I started taking vitamins. And when I started taking vitamins, I started to feel the fuel of the food. I started to move my body. I started to get healthy, and then the weight started falling off. You especially need electrolytes, magnesium. If you get some leg cramps at night, you need some magnesium and potassium, okay? I personally take Keto Essentials, but I am a coach who does not like products. Products make me angry. When I go to Costco, I'm an embarrassment to my family because all these keto labeled stuff that have cane sugar in it, I'm a little loud when I shop, and they're like, Mom, we'll find you in another aisle. Because you should not have to buy anything that says keto. You shop on the outside of the grocery aisle, one ingredient items, get yourself a big steak, throw some butter on there, you got yourself a nice keto meal. We just did that at Longhorn last night. It was amazing. But you can lose it. I lost 120 pounds doing this. Counted my macros, stopped the sugar. I started to move. I do not promote exercise in my program. Now, we have 5 workouts. We've got them embedded in the program, so yes. But if you depend on exercise, first thing you do, I got these heels on today. I could walk off the step, break my ankle. You better help me down because I don't want to do that. But if I depended on exercise to lose weight and I broke my ankle, my program's done. I want your foundation to be food. I want it to be nutrients. I want you to change your body from the inside out. After those ketones start kicking in, I had a lady, it was so funny. She called me. I have a lot of funny stories, but there's kids in the room, so I'm not going to tell you a lot of them. They'll tell you anything. Let me tell you, when you're coaching, they'll tell you anything. But one of the ladies called me. She's like, I don't know what's happening to my body, Monica, but I have cleaned my house today. I went and I ran the Great Dane, and I did all. She just started listing off all the stuff. I said, honey, those are ketones. Ketones are amazing. When you start changing your body and converting, you know that afternoon crash that you have after you have a Snickers bar, and you're like, I need to just crawl under my desk. That is being addicted to carbs. That's your body running on that. But how do you stay free? So all of that is really, really fast. All of those could be broken up into a whole session in and of themselves. But I cannot stop talking without how do you stay free? I have maintained my weight loss I'm going on 4 years now. No hint of going back, no question of going back. But how do you stay free? And I think that this is really, really important. In my program, I'm a coach who believes body, mind, and spirit. When one of those things is sick, if your body is sick, then it's sharing its disease with your mind and your spirit. I'm telling you guys, I lost my joy. Those years that I was a lobbyist, I lost my joy. I got it back. I got it back because God healed my spirit, right? So we work on all three in my program, body, mind, and spirit. Never look back. Never, ever look back. We are not going that way. I will never look back. The only time I look back as a coach is when I pray and I ask God to show me before a client starts with me, show me how I felt before this program. And he does. I feel it all over again. But don't look back. You're not going that way. I want you to learn from the past, but I don't want you to live there. Okay? We had a bad past, but we don't live there. Eat to live, not live to eat. And yesterday I was craving a steak really badly, and so I was kind of living to eat yesterday. But when you get ketones in your body and when you start to get healthy and you start to feel it, you're going to start feeling the impact. I worked at Grace College in Winona Lake before my coaching took off. And I remember going home, I had an avocado at home, put some pink salt on it, put some, I just loaded it up. And I remember getting to the campus and walking to my office, and I started running. And I had lost all the weight, so I probably looked so silly. I could feel that avocado. I heard that the other day on TikTok. It was so funny. This lady called it an avocado. But I felt that avocado kicking in, and I just literally ran to my office. And so you will start to feel that. Use food as fuel. When you become unaddicted to sugar, when you become independent and living on your own with these healthy foods, you use food as fuel. Supplements do make a huge difference. I want you to find a really, really good supplement. Now that you learned the word maltodextrin, I want you to go home and look at your vitamins. See how much sugar is in your daily vitamins. Find a multivitamin without maltodextrin. There's 96 different names of sugar. I'm going to work on our politicians to change them. At least get truth. Exercise. Find a love for it. My sister coaches for me now, and she told me she was in an It Works company for a long time, and I was quiet. She hated my guts. She saw the weight just melting off of me. She hated me. She's like, but Monica, I have It Works. And we had a little bit of intense relationship for a little bit. And she saw the weight melting off. She saw my attitude. She saw me get my joy back. She saw the change happening. She's like, okay. And so I tricked her. I am not above tricking anybody to get what I need. I said, you know what, Darcy, you are an incredible person. I said, I hope she's not watching this, or I'm being recorded, so she'll hear it. I'm like, I can't hire you if you're not on keto. So I got her on keto. She dropped 65 pounds. Her husband dropped 65 pounds. She became the most amazing coach that I have. Why was I telling you that? Exercise, yes, rabbit trail. So she's like, okay, you got me with keto and I've lost 65 pounds, but I do not like exercising. I will not ever do that. I will not be a coach that exercises and promotes it with my clients. I said, okay, all right. Those ketones kicked in. This woman is a beast. She and her husband go kickboxing and beat each other up every night at the gym. And she's like, wow, it works. So find a love for it, but we don't do that on the front side. I coach my clients minimum of 8 weeks. I have some clients for a year. If I have a client for a year, I love it because I don't start them with exercising for about 6 months, okay? Because I want you to find a love for it. I want those ketones to tell you when it's ready. Vitamin D is huge, especially, you guys probably know with the whole Rona days, vitamin D is just get out in the sun 30 minutes a day. That is so impactful for your mind and your weight loss journey. When you graduate, get rid of the past. Oh, girls. Let me tell you, that's my lipstick sign here. A lot of people say, are you selling lipstick? No. There are so many of us, especially women, and I'm not going to put everybody in, I'm going to profile everybody. There's so many of us who have lost our identity. We have become this fat person. That was my identity. I didn't know who I was. When I lost the weight, I didn't know who I was in my marriage. I didn't know who I was as a woman. I had lost my identity. Girls, it's time to put your lipstick on. It's time to find your identity. It's time for you to find out why God created you, why you're put on this earth. And so when you graduate, when you start to lose these things, I want you to get rid of the past. Do not keep fat clothes in your closet. Do not. Girls, go shopping. Now, don't do what I did. I went to Maurice's. Every time I dropped a size, sometimes I would drop a size and I wouldn't even get to wear it because I would drop it so fast. Again, we won't talk with my husband in the room. We will not talk about how much I spent at Maurice's. Go to Goodwill. Do not do what I did. But I do not want fat clothes in your closet. Get rid of them. When you go down a size, they're gone. Get rid of your excuses. There are no excuses because keto works for life. You don't ever have to go back. I will never eat the way I did again. I don't crave it, number one. Number two, I feel amazing. I don't need sugar in my life again. I've already replaced it. Is it safe to be in ketosis for life? Yes, it is. It is absolutely safe. We were born in ketosis. Do you know babies were born in ketosis? It is completely natural. Get rid of your old mindset. You're not going back again because we love the way we feel. We are not going back. The hardest thing for me to do was change the size of my wedding ring. I almost lost my wedding ring because I was scared to change my size on that was final for me. That was really an emotional time. When you get rid of something, I want you to replace it with something, okay? When you get rid of your old clothes, you go out and get new clothes. Don't get baggy clothes. Do not get baggy clothes. Get something a little bit scary. Do something a little bit scary because when you get those tighter clothes, you're going to start to feel pretty. You're going to start to feel good. You're going to start to feel daring, okay? So get rid of those clothes. Downsize. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to mark the moment. I'm a person of faith. And what are we doing on time? 8 minutes? Is that right? 10 minutes? Okay. I'm a person of faith, okay? So I'm gonna refer to you with a story in the Bible. So in the Old Testament, right, when the Israelites escaped slavery, right, and they were on their way, 40 years? I'm not a pastor. Don't know the story completely. Generalities, right? Every time God did a miracle in their life, He's like, build an altar. Not build an altar to worship, but build an altar. So when you get to a goal, I want you to build an altar. I want you to reward yourself. I want you to go out for that manicure. I want you to go out. This was my 100-pound. I'm not promoting tattoos. Don't do that. But when I'm driving, do you know what I do? I thank God for healing my body. This is what happened he also bought me a Mustang. So that was my other, an old Mustang, not a new one. But I put this mark on my body because I'm so grateful that God healed my body. I want you to mark the moment. I want you to do something for yourself, whether it be a new outfit, lipstick, whatever it is. Make a goal every 20 pounds, okay? All right. I hate it when you don't know how many slides you have left, okay? Health is not a destination. In your mind, I am not there. I'm in maintenance, but I'm not there. Now I'm toning. Now I'm working on getting rid of some body fat percentage. Health is not a destination. It's a lifetime journey. If you find the destination, then you stop trying, okay? So if my clients say, I need to get into this wedding dress by July 31st, what happens July 34th? What happens? What happens? You're done. You're done. So I'm going to try that cookie again. Health is not a destination. It's a lifestyle. You get comfortable. You stop trying when you have an end in mind. Maintenance and my maintenance program and self-evaluation. Have you introduced yourself to the new woman, the new man? Have you introduced yourself? It is a real thing, ladies and gentlemen. It is real when you find this new person that has been born, this healthy person. Introduce yourself to them because it's an entirely different person. Be patient with your spouse. We went through some massive marital changes. He doesn't know this woman. I don't know this woman. He likes what he sees. I am scared. There's a lot of stuff. I highly recommend counseling when you go through this journey. All right, so maintenance looks different than what you've been living. I put all of my clients on a reverse diet when we finish because every 25 pounds you lose, I bump your macros down. We eat less and less. However, at the end of the day, I want you back up at 2,000 calories. And so we do that very carefully, put you on the reverse diet. You might want to tweak your program. There's nothing saying that keto has to be for life. A lot of people say keto to lose, paleo to maintain. It has to be your journey. You have to make that call. I remember distinctly making that call on the way home from my job. I thought, okay, I made it to goal, so now maybe I could have an apple. Maybe I could do paleo. And I thought, I am happy with what I'm eating. I'm happy. There's no need for me to change anything. I personally chose to say keto. All right, will you still track your food? I'm telling you what, 4 years in to keto, guess what is in my macro tracker right now? I eat the same thing every day. Do you know why? Somebody said, Monica, you're addicted to your macro tracker. You're addicted. Don't you feel bound? Don't you feel like a slave to it? I said, no, I feel free. God gave us boundaries for a reason. I know with what's in my macro tracker, I'll never go back. To me, tracking is freedom. Now, it could be a different perspective for you. Some of my clients get to the end and they're like, I think I'm good. And so what I do is the seventh month that I have my clients, we don't track for 7th month. I want them to feel their macros, just in case that's what they want to do. I have some clients who do great. I personally will never not track, because that woman that you saw a few slides back, I don't want to see her again. She was not a happy woman, okay? Ladies, this one's for you, but no, it's for men too. It is completely for men. I want you to know that you cannot forget to celebrate. It is okay, ladies, to sparkle. It's okay to put your lipstick on. It's okay to go get those things. It's okay to shine. Go buy that dress. Go get your nails done. Go do the things you couldn't do before. I remember with my nieces and nephew, I was about 3/4 of the way done through my journey, and we were just running. I was loving them. We were at the park. We were playing. I was halfway down the middle, those little curly Q slides. I was halfway down. I started bawling. I'm like, I didn't get stuck. It was one of those kiddie slides. I didn't get stuck, and I was running with Enzo, and I was running with Parmoy, and I was running, and I'm like, I couldn't do this with my kids. I missed out so many years with my kids. I couldn't do it. And so I made a vow that day, I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to live. My tagline is start living again. I wholly believe it. I just want you to know it's possible. I want you to know that there's hope. Whether you have somebody in your life who needs an intervention, whether you need some help, I want you to know there's hope, because I'm living proof of it. So thank you so much for listening this morning.